Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing the review on the Nerf Elite Rayven CS-18. And this is, I guess you could say, a stock review in the beginning, and then halfway through the video, or towards the end of the video, we'll go into what I've modified it and how well it works modified. But for right now, we're going to talk about its stock features, what all it includes in the box, and stuff like that, and we'll just dig right into it. First things first, the Rayven, which as most of you guys know if you have been into Nerf for any time at all, was one of the first, I'm not going to say the first because I'm not exactly sure, but it was one of the first motorized, streamlined, clip-fed blasters, which was really pretty cool because it didn't require a priming handle or anything like that. You just revved up the motors and fired. So it was really cool, and not only did it incorporate that, but it also brought back the bullpup design. One of the coolest things in my personal opinion with this blaster is the fact that it is a bullpup, and I don't know why. I guess I know I'm not the only one. The bullpup design just feels really good and it looks awesome. So I was really excited that when they decided to come out with the Elite version, because obviously the Rayven was kind of getting put to shame with all the new Elite blasters coming out, but they did come out with an Elite one and we have it here. Now basically the only difference in the Elite Rayven and the standard Rayven is the color scheme for one. Obviously, as you can see, this has the blue and white and gray and black and orange and lime green color scheme. The lime green kind of goes with the Firefly tech, as we can see here, and we'll get into that in a second. But it's just a repaint, okay? There's nothing new to the shell at all. Same button design, same, everything. Battery door still in the same spot, all that stuff. It's the exact same as far as the outside appearance besides the different colors. When it comes to the inside, it does have a higher RPM as far as the motors inside, so it is spinning faster, therefore you're going to get farther distances. You are getting the 75 feet with this stock, however, it's at a very high angled shot, and I would say you're doing good to get 50 to 55 level shot, depending on your streamlines. So I would say, yeah, it's getting the 75 feet if you angle it, but it's still getting way better ranges than the standard Rayven was. Now, when it comes to other differences between the two, I really don't think there are any besides those motors. I've taken it apart. They did incorporate the slow rev or rev down time. If you watch my Strife video and if you watch my modification tutorials for the Strife, I went through and showed you guys how you could switch this switch to where whenever you open the jam door in a stock Rayven or a stock Strife, the rev time was a lot slower. So when you open this, it like put a brake on the motors and slowed them down really fast instead of just letting them eventually run out because there is no juice to them. And that's another thing they incorporated in the Rayven, is they actually did that with the jam door again, is when you open the jam door, the motors would slow rev down a lot slower, or a lot faster than just letting, if you were to just let off the trigger. So that's kind of the only difference really in the insides, that and the motors. Now when it comes to the Firefly Tech clip, it's the exact same clip, just different color. This is the lime green, not the Vortex green, but this is a very, very bright lime green with the black accents, and that's kind of why you have the lime green accents here in the Rayven itself. The only N-Strike Elite logos I forgot to mention are on the front portion here, and this is mirrored on the other half of the blaster as well. Again, the glow-in-the-dark, or not glow-in-the-dark, excuse me, the Firefly Tech color schemed Nerf logo here, the N-Strike Elite logo up here, and then Rayven CS-18. So the Firefly Tech again is the same, switch on the bottom. It appears these are a little bit more white than they are blue, these LEDs. I'm not sure if they are or not. It could just be the way it looks with the clip, but it's pretty much the exact same other than that. Now the only other thing you get with the blaster is your 18 darts that come with this, and that's one of the new things that we hadn't really seen before until the Elite Rayven came out, and then there was releases of it a little bit before that, and that is the Elite glow-in-the-dark darts or streamlines. And these again are just Elite darts, but they use the glow-in-the-dark foam, so these will actually glow if you use the magazine at night. And so that's pretty cool. They decided to actually come out with the glow-in-the-dark again, and they are Elite, so you're getting the same ranges with these as you would with any standard Elite dart. So these are exact same darts, just glow-in-the-dark instead of the standard. So that's all the difference in between the stock and Elite Rayven. My personal opinion on the stock Rayven, just as it is, as you buy it from the package, I love it. It's a $35 retail, and I can now say that for sure because not only my local Toys R Us selling them for that, but my local Walmart and Targets are also selling them for, I believe, $34.95 or something like that. So that is the retail. When it comes to the retail, it's a little high in my opinion. Obviously, it's not any better than a Strife. Okay, the only upgrade from a Strife to this would be the fact that you get an 18-round magazine. This is actually getting a tiny bit less range than a Strife is, just for the fact that you've got this full-length barrel here. That's kind of what you have to sacrifice with a bullpup design. So it's getting a little bit less range than the Strife, but it is still a great blaster. I personally love it. I used it this past weekend at my local war, and I loved it. Just the way that it feels. Now, one thing I quickly want to show before I forget here, I don't know if I showed this in the unboxing, but I actually like to run this Rayven with the matching retaliator barrel, and this is not going to show up very well on my camera frame, but it looks really cool. It extends the length of it, gives you another place to hold. You know, as far as up here, you can actually put a foregrip if you want to on the front, and I like to run it that way. This does not come with it, but I just wanted to mention that because I think I forgot to do that in the unboxing. But I ran it like this past weekend, and I loved it. It's just a lot of fun to use. Obviously not the most high-performing blaster out there of the Elite blasters, but it is really cool. It works great, and it's got great modding potential. So if you're looking for a stock blaster, I would definitely recommend it. For the price range, I wouldn't recommend it over a Strife. I would say for the price, I would definitely go with a Strife over this. However, if you're looking for the Rayven, you just like the design of the bullpup or just love the looks of it, I definitely recommend it. It's a great blaster. It shoots great. And it's a lot quieter than the stock Rayven, which is one thing I kind of forgot to mention. The motors in this are a lot quieter. So that's pretty much it for the stock review. Now moving on to the modifications. I've done quite a bit with this blaster, and I did this with my pretty much the same exact mods to my standard Rayven. And so we're going to go over those now. The first modification, obviously, that I did, if I can find a screwdriver really fast, which is never possible when you need it. The first modification I did this was opened it up and removed all the resistors. That includes the resistors on the motors, the circuit board inside the resistor in there, in between your trigger switch and the batteries. I removed all those. I removed my locks in my jam door, my clip lock, and thinking there was another one. I could be wrong. I think those are the only two actually. But I did remove all those, so now the circuit is a lot cleaner than it was standardly, and now you can open the jam door while revving it and stuff, and you have no problems with it. Or you can remove the clip and remove that. I also removed the mechanical lock to where I can now pull the trigger without there being a clip in it or it being revved up. So I'll go ahead and remove the clip. As you can see, I can still pull my trigger. With that, I installed 3 Trustfire batteries. These are the 14,500 series. These are 900 milliamp, 3.6 volts. Mine most surely run at 4 volts because they don't just charge. I charge mine after every war, so I'm running most surely about 12 volts in this blaster stock. I have a dummy battery in here that I used to make. I might do a tutorial on that later. But that's what I'm running in this is 3 Trustfires. You can run 4, however, by then your accuracy is slim to none, and it's just not that great of a blaster to use with that much. Plus, it's really loud, and you do run a higher risk of burning up your motors. I've not had any problem with burning up motors with running 3 Trustfires on any of my blasters, and I've kind of stuck to that because I don't want to mess it up at all. But other than that, that's pretty much all I've done to it. Now, when it comes to other modifications, that's pretty much it as far as functionality. However, when you're running Trustfires, you always want to be able to see what kind of voltage you're getting. You never want to discharge your Trustfires too much. Therefore, I installed one of the voltage meters, I guess you could say, and I'm going to go ahead and show that now. Now, the first thing I want to mention, this is not my most perfect mod. My first one was a lot better. However, this one didn't turn out the best, but I'm going to go ahead and show it here. If you guys can see this, and hopefully my camera focuses, I installed a little LED monitor inside there, and what that's telling me is my current voltage, which, if I read this right, is actually exactly 12.0 volts. And I don't know if you guys can read that on the camera. But what it is whenever I'm playing, if I think my batteries are running low or I just need to check them, I'll push a little button and I'll show it in a second here. And it tells me exactly what my voltage is. I never run my voltage lower than 8 volts, 7.5 unless is the very minimum, is what I want to run with 3 trust fires. So this tells me exactly what I've got. It tells me if my batteries are going dead, if I need to replace them anytime soon, and that really helps. And this even helps with stock batteries, to tell if if you've got 4 AA batteries and that's supposed to be 6 volts. If you're running 4 volts, you're not going to be getting the same ranges. So that's really cool. This is not an easy integration. I actually had to do quite a bit of work on that. It's easier than some, but not the easiest. Now, the other integration that I had to do was the switch. I didn't want that on all the time. So what I did was I incorporated a safety switch from, I believe it's the Rayven. It might have been a, it could have been a Strife, or it could have been a stock Rayven. I'm not exactly sure. Anyways, it's one of the little safety switches, and I've actually got one here, I think, right here, that I removed from my blaster. So, it's just like this is what they look like. I actually incorporated that, and I hot glued it into a position here, right above the trigger. So whenever I want to see the voltage, I just press that, and my LED indicator lights up. So that's really cool. It's right there, so whenever I'm playing, I can rev it up, see what I'm doing, firing and stuff, and then if I think my battery's running low, just pull my finger trigger up to, or my trigger finger up to the button and press it, and it shows me exactly what my voltage is. So that's really cool. And then the last thing I did was my fast deceleration switch, which is, I did this on a Strife. If you want to see how to do it, go check out my video. The wiring is backwards in this, so you might have to mess around with that a little bit. But actually it now decelerates a lot faster. Instead of letting it continuously rev out, it slows down really fast instead of taking, a couple of, like 30 seconds or something for it to finally completely decelerate. And I really like that because then it makes it a lot quieter. It's not running all the time, and it's really cool. Now, one thing with modifying this blaster is it is very loud. And one reason for that is the fact that the way the blaster is made, it doesn't hold the motors in quite as tight. There's nothing securing the motors to the blaster. It's just pressure fit. That I might change. I might actually hot glue it to the shell or something like that, because it can be a problem because it's very loud. But other than that, I'm really impressed with it. It's getting awesome ranges. It's getting probably, I'd say, almost 75 feet flat, 60 feet flat, somewhere in there. And obviously angles is going to be out of this world. When it comes to firing, I'll go ahead and load up a 10 Elite darts in here and do a quick firing test for you. We'll be getting range test up on this eventually. I don't know exactly when. But overall, I am definitely impressed. It offers a lot of modding potential. Obviously, I'm a big fan of motorized blasters for that fact. They're easy to modify if you know how to solder, and so it's a lot of fun to mess with. You can't hardly mess them up, and the worst you can do is burn out the motors, which takes a lot to do. So I'm just gonna go do a quick firing test for you really fast. Hopefully, this is gonna be a little bit loud because my blaster is turned sideways. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually. We'll go ahead and do it this way. Kind of fire it upside down, but we'll go ahead and fire through the first 10 shots here. And as you can see, you can pretty much fire as fast as you want without the motors decelerating too much or losing too much in range. So overall, I'm impressed. Obviously, those are just the modifications I've done to this. You can probably do a lot more as far as exterior and stuff, but I like to keep my blasters looking as much as stock as possible. The only really modification on the external is I put this little switch in here, dremelled out a hole, and put that there. So that's the only really external modification. Overall, I'm really happy with it, and I just can't say enough about the Elite Rayven. I really love this blaster. It's a lot of fun to use. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment box below, or check out my Facebook page at facebook.com/nerftome2. I can respond a lot faster on there to messages and comments, so if you want to go like that page, I'd greatly appreciate it. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll be getting a lot more videos out to you in the future. Thanks guys for watching. Have a nice day.